Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Ryan here, wanting to talk about Raw's ratings today. That's right. That's been quite a topic in the IWC because they've been pretty low. You know what I mean? So this past week's Monday Night Raw got a 2.3 rating, which is 3.333, repeating, of course, million viewers, which is the lowest rated Raw since 1997. So this is before the Attitude Era. And then, of course, when that happened, ratings skyrocketed. Do I expect that same thing to happen now? Probably not. So, what is a company to do in this situation? It's a good question. There's been quite a few dips in the ratings in the past few weeks, and I think that's why we've been seeing reactionary things such as Sting at Night of Champions, and now we've got this Brock Lesnar Go to Hell tour, which kind of seemingly came out of nowhere. They just announced it at Night of Champions. Undertaker and Brock Lesnar Hell in a Cell, the house show thing, all that. Once again, we're dipping, we're grabbing that Attitude Era well. We're gonna get Sting, we're gonna get Undertaker. Not sure that's the solution. I made a video a couple weeks back about WWE building new stars, and I think that is the most important thing that has to happen in WWE today. And I'm actually going to read a couple of Paul Heyman quotes, one recently from just a couple weeks ago or even a few days ago, and one from several years ago, and I think both are very relevant today, and I would like to read both of them. So first, let us read the one that is from October 2nd, so just a few days ago. And this comes from Scott Fishman on Channel Guy Magazine, recently spoke with Paul Heyman during an interview regarding the low ratings. So this is what Paul Heyman had to say. He said, "I think if there is an erosion in the ratings, then we are in a cycle within the industry where fans are going and looking for or finding other interests. This is not dissimilar to any other form of entertainment. The key has always been to replace those who leave, to bring in more fans at any time you are losing fans. At this particular point in time, there is a search to find the new fan. I am not the one who looks at the ratings every Tuesday and says, well, we haven't replaced everybody that is left. The ratings didn't double. I'm not expecting that type of increase tomorrow or next week or the week after that. Any business with longevity, and this is the one company in the business that has survived, deals with this. They survived because when there was an erosion of the audience and they had to replenish the audience, there isn't a panic. Panic is never the answer. Panic never brings up the ratings. A long-term solution is with a number of brand new stars, all in compelling situations with riveting storylines and new matchups. This is what will bring an upswing to the ratings ever so slowly to where the average rating goes up little by little each month. Then a couple years from now, the erosion having taken place of the people that left, bringing in fans in a new generation or group or crop of fans to come in. It's the natural evolution of any form of entertainment." So once again, that emphasis on building new stars and not panicking. Now, of course, we had a low rating the week before this historically low rating, and you know what? Credit to WWE. I feel like, maybe it wasn't the greatest Raw, but I didn't also feel like that it was this reactionary panic. So I'm going to go to another Paul Heyman quote. This is from 2008 when he used to do a weekly column for the UK Sun. And this is what he said. I believe Heyman is not with the company at this point in time. So he might be, his take might be a little different than being a part of the company. So he says, "I'm not suggesting turning the show into post-produced countdown shows, but the manner in which the shows are presented must be addressed. Either take the show and redesign the pacing, the formatting, even the way the main events are announced and promoted, or change the atmosphere of it to accommodate the pop culture desirous fan base that is flocking away from pro wrestling. It's time for the writing and production staffs that advise Vince to reacquaint themselves with what popular movements are taking place before WWE further victimizes itself by appearing to be out of touch." Heyman ends the rant with a plea to WWE, followed by a tongue-in-cheek threat to make a return to pro wrestling in the right industries, to right the industry's wrongs. "My advice to the creative decision makers is to wake up, realize your programming is not artistically cutting edge anymore, and inject a youthful mindset to complement your unparalleled, amazing ability to provide multiple hours of content to the networks on a weekly basis. Reposition wrestling sports entertainment as the coolest video game come-to-life product with the wildest, most clearly defined and inviolable characters on television anywhere in the world today, or I'll come back to the industry and show you how to do it just like I did before. Just kidding. There was a little interjection there. I got this from a Reddit user, and this was actually taken from the Dirt Sheet History, November 2008. So anyway, some great comments from Paul Heyman, basically saying, we need to just kind of shake things up. I think there's no question that the talent in WWE is potentially the best that they've ever had, and that it's really the writing, the storylines, a lot of these matchups are what is dragging the show down. And it doesn't surprise me that the ratings are going down when we're seeing, Randy Orton versus Sheamus every single week, basically, or we're getting these kind of even Steven booking situations where it's like we see the Stardust and the Cosmic Wasteland. Oh, they beat Neville in the Lucha Dragons, but then the next night they lose again. So it's like, what does it matter? And I feel like a lot of these matchups on Raw, we feel that. We feel like there's very little consequence, that almost nothing matters, and that maybe one or two things each week are even worth talking about. So I can definitely see how ratings are dipping. And one interesting last point I kind of wanted to make here is I looked up basically just ratings over the years, and of course, basically ever since the end of the Attitude Era, ratings have slowly declined, and there's almost been no upswing except during one period of time, which is this article I got from the Voice of Wrestling, which is called An Investigation into WWE's Slumping Ratings. They go way in depth into this, but I will just I'll link it in the description if you want to read the whole thing. But there is one section that they go over, which is the mini boom, where there was a temporary upswing in the ratings from 2004 to 2006, which interestingly enough is a time where they actually did build a pretty decent new crop of stars during that time. 2004 to 2006 is a big time where they basically brought up guys like John Cena, Edge, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Batista. So plenty of names were actually really built during that time, and it doesn't surprise me that there was a slight upswing during that era. So new stars definitely seems to be the answer, and I think this reliance on the Attitude Era needs to kind of slowly go away. And because let's be honest, it, like Heyman's quote says, we need to find the new fan. And I'm not so sure the new fan cares about the Attitude Era. There's so much Attitude Era nostalgia, and that's not what the new fan's looking for. The new fan wants to be a part of their thing. They want it to be theirs. They don't want to act like the past is better than them, So let's let the past be the past, and hopefully WWE can recenter themselves and focus on the now. So anyway, that is my take on the low ratings. Make sure to let me know what you guys think. What would you do? Fantasy booking, just go wild with it. What do you think is the solution to these lower ratings? What can they do to make Raw more compelling and less of a chore to get through? Let's be honest, for most of us it is. Sometimes. Every once in a while there's that great Raw that reels you back in again, but lately I don't feel like it's been that way. So anyway, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.